And welcome back to Let's Play Tales of Vesperia. Last time we entered the Rillareese Hollow and ran into our good old pal Duke, who wasn't super crazy to see us, if I had to make a judgment call right there. I suppose I should mention, if you want to level grind, now's the time to do so, because we have a healing save point. Ultimate Divine Destruction, and my volume is really quiet because I was playing Sonic and this game's always really loud for some reason. I think I mentioned that. Did I? Or yeah, I'm trying to remember which video that was during. I think it was during Tales, not Kirby. Yeah, I'm still working on Kirby. It is pre-recorded. The reason is because, again, I wasn't really sure how well some fights in this game would go, so I wanted to be on the safe side and actually have the option to upload something different if need be. Turns out I didn't need it, but hey, better safe than sorry. So that's what I always say, except not really. Okay, so what are we doing? We're going back the way we came from, because we went down a different fork in the road, I think, last part. And ran into Duke by total accident. I wish I hadn't done that. Then again, even though the video ran like 2 minutes long, it is better than having to, like, you know, the alternative of literally going out of the level and saving, and then running back, and then triggering the cutscene, and then getting a save point immediately after anyway, so it worked out. Stone bottle. Isn't it always the worst when your healer is actually the one that gets hit with a status? That's really sucky. I wish that never happened, but it always does, it seems like. And yeah, Carol doesn't get experience. Actually, now that I think about it, I should have used the stone ball, but I kind of want to save items because I have no clue what's coming up in terms of what our next fight is going to be like. Could be really easy, could be really hard, who knows. The description for the secret mission looked really confusing to me. It basically involved attacking a certain after it uses a certain attack, which sounds a little bit weird. I'm also highly considering switching Rita because of Ancient Cataclysm, I think is the name of the move. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Also, Cockcheeses can inflict stone, which I think is accurate to mythology. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure on that, really. I'm not a mythology expert. But I could have sworn I remember something about Cockcheeses being able to, like, turn people to stone? But yeah, not 100% sure. Oh. Okay, fail strike. What else? I need to turn up the volume. I guess one thing I can talk about is, while we're just trying to backtrack over to that right area, is I've actually been playing Sonic Mania a lot, and I actually finished it already, believe it or not. This is being recorded on the 16th. But, oddly enough, I feel like playing it again immediately, and that hasn't happened since Shantae Half Genie Hero. Where I wanted to play a game immediately after finishing. It doesn't happen too often, because I tend to play long games like Zelda and this. I like Tales games, but my goodness, they're long. Oh, well, that explains it. But yeah, Sonic Mania is only a few hours long, I would say, if I had to make a guess. I was also being really obsessive about getting all the chaos symbols in one run, and there's apparently an exploit to actually get them a lot more easily, which I totally exploited. The reason I exploited it partly was just because on special stages, to a couple, there's one level in particular that's just notoriously kind of bad. Like, legit, people are already talking about this one level being really terrible, and Raven learned Wind Howl. Somehow I'm doubting the effectiveness of a wind attack on a bunch of rocks. Erosion is a thing, so maybe, I don't know. What even was that? I wasn't paying attention to what Estelle just cast. but it did a ton of damage, whatever it was. So luckily the little rock guys, I don't know if these can inflict stone, but they're mostly going after Judith and Yuri, and they're covered. So that's cool. Also, that is one of the things. Oh, Holy Rain.
Oh, you poor thing.
That's one of the things I like in Tales games, is you can actually change equipment mid-battle, which is super helpful. Changes in art, changes in art. Okie dokie, also changes arts. So, that's all learned, I think, yeah. So let's go with the Death Slinger, which just sounds really cheery, doesn't it? Okay, just double checking that. Cell learned all the combos that she could ever possibly need. Is this actually her best item at the moment? It actually is. Okay, we're keeping that. Okay, so she's still learning touchdown, which sounds really useful, and rod, which unfortunately this isn't a rod, so that doesn't really help. Sonic Cleaver, that's new. I don't even remember picking that up, if I may be completely honest. Hamet's Tear, that sounds pretty important, really. I wonder if Bahamut is actually like the Final Fantasy version in like actual mythology. I don't actually know. Also, this doesn't seem like it fits Rita one little bit, considering her personality. Twinkle Star, Psychedelica. Wait a minute, how do I already have the skills for both? Did I already? Oh shoot, this is a really terrible weapon. That's why. Let's go with that. One world. Yeah, go with one world, learn that, and then move on. I'm legitimately thinking about switching out Raven for Rita because of arts, but again, she's still learning moves, so I kind of don't want to rush ahead with that because I'm afraid I'll get into a situation where having a higher damage weapon would be really, really nice. So yeah, I'm kind of hesitant to just get rid of it too fast. This looks definitive, so we're not going to go that way. Also, I think Duke came this way, so we're definitely not going that way, at least right now. We want to go right first, I think. I don't know what that was. I don't like areas like this where the passageways are super narrow. Using a holy bottle would actually be completely useless, if you ask me, because the problem with a holy bottle is you have to actually be able to get around the enemy at the same time. I don't think we'd be able to get around the enemies because of how narrow these paths are, so we're just gonna tank our way through. Now we don't really need to show all this, but I guess I can go back to talking about Sonic. It's oddly not my favorite 2D Sonic game, and maybe my favorite Sonic period, though that's not really a competition. It's funny, for a series I've grown up with my entire life, practically. I started playing Sonic when I was like 7. I really don't have that much nostalgia for the 2D ones. I just finished Sonic 2 before Mania came out. I actually really didn't like it that much. It was okay, but it was also kind of cheap at parts. I wasn't really a fan. Sonic 3 and Knuckles, I would say, would be my next favorite 2D Sonic game. By far, no contest. And then Sonic 1, obviously, last.
That wasn't too bad.
I haven't played.
Practice makes perfect.
I haven't played CD in years, so I will reserve judgment there for now. I remember CD being fun, but I also don't remember finishing it, so I don't know. I don't know which path is the right path. Also,
crazy here.
You know, that's the thing I'm running into a lot in this game. It feels like, especially with the more linear, tunnely kind of areas like this and Agatha Forest. It's sometimes really hard to tell what the intended path is and what the optional path is, to the point where you end up stumbling upon something that you really didn't mean to stumble into by total accident. I kind of wish it was a little more clear. Again, my only theory right now is this is the optional path, mainly because Duke was walking, I think, away from this path through the left path.
Hey, come on!
So that's why I'm kind of like, maybe? But this is also like really long for an optional path, really. Well, there's my answer. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go
Got
a
another
little
one of these
crazy
dudes.
here.
Let's see. Pandora. Obviously named after Pandora's box from Greek mythology. It's a box that holds like all the sin in the world, and then Pandora, I think, opened it. I'm not really. I always said this, but I'm not really into mythology that much.
That wasn't too bad.
Oh, that was actually pretty easy. You know what? This game has like the easiest mimics I've ever seen in any video game I've ever played. That sounds like hyperbole. I don't mean it to be hyperbole. I mean it completely legitimate. It honestly has some of the easiest mimic type enemies I've ever seen. I just remember like Super Mario RPG, for example, would have really terrible mimics that could like wipe your party easily if you weren't prepared. Starrod! So she's Kirby now. I'm gonna go with this because honestly it's basically trading. Wait, what? Effects of support magic occasionally last for the duration of the battle. That's good. Because magic is actually more important for her because she's the caster of the party. Oh goody, another branching path. This probably loops back.
This'll make good practice.
Let's just get it over with.
Also, why do these bees have like bows? That doesn't really make sense. I do wish, and this is a complaint I levy against a lot of games actually, I do wish the monster variety was a little bit better. I kind of feel like we've seen a lot of these three colors, which is kind of odd. Considering how long a game it is, some more variety would have been nice. And also, speaking of which, that's actually my chief complaint about Breath of the Wild, about Zelda. So at this point, I don't know what my favorite game of the year is. It's really tough because 2017, counting localizations in this, has actually been a really solid year. We got Persona 5, we got Sonic Mania, Tales of Vesperia, which I still have to play, Breath of the Wild. Did I say Persona 5 already? I think I did. Splatoon 2 is really fun. I hear Horizon is really good. I hear Resident Evil 7 is really good. If you're into that sort of thing, I'm not. I'm really not. The fact that they're giving us limit bottles makes me nervous.
We should really enjoy these little times together.
Yeah, this has been a good year for games. We still have Odyssey. Well, okay, by the time this video comes out, Odyssey will be out for like a month. Now that I think about it. But for me, I have Odyssey to look forward to at least. I'm trying to think of anything else other than Odyssey. I mean, there's Samus Returns, which again is already out at this point. Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga DX. I still call it DX because that was like the leak game. The actual title is like Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions, which is such a mouthful. I just call it DX in lieu of
Was I a little hard on
a
you?
more concise name.
I can do even better than this.
Level 58. Pretty good. Again, I can't tell what the intended path is versus the optional path. Plus, this is just all optional, and I actually highly doubt that. I highly doubt that all of this is going to be optional. Again, this isn't even an area you can come through with a holy bottle because there's just so many encounters. You just have to fight your way through, basically. Vesperia just feels really different. There's a demo on the PlayStation Network if one is inclined to try it. But it's very different. It kind of feels a little bit more like a cross between... Well, okay. The games kind of change style after a while. They have a thing where there's like a gauge that determines how many combos you can get in. So you have like 3, but if you manage to do a good combo, then you get like 4, and they gradually drain. This was introduced in why am I blanking on the name? It was introduced in Graces, I think. Yeah, it was Graces. And was sort of, interestingly, Exilia and sort of took that system and all. Oh, this looks kind of definitive, actually. Maybe try over here first. Exilia took Grace's sort of like, I don't even. There's a term for the little counter that determines how many times you can attack, and how many hearts you can chain together. I do not remember the term from it, but Exilia sort of molded that system with more of the linear 2D combat from this game and Abyss, because this game and Abyss play the same. Fun fact. Obviously the characters all feel different, but in terms of overall design, Abyss and Vesperia and also Dawn of the New World are effectively the same. And yes, Dawn of the New World, not Symphonia, because Symphonia 1 didn't have free run, to my knowledge. Which sounds really awful, actually, not being able to free run. I have no clue where I'm going, but there's a save point. So that's not ominous at all. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, before too many enemies respawn, is go back up to where... Remember what I said about enemies respawning? Yeah, that did not last very long, huh? Yeah, see, we can't... Oh, we did. Okay. We barely got around that guy. Yeah, let's see what's over here now. But yeah, I actually defend... What the heck is that? I actually defend Graces a lot more than most people. I don't hate the game, it's just like... The gameplay was like a cool idea that could have used a little bit more time in the oven. And the characters are kind of lame. Simply put, the characters kind of suck in Graces comparatively. They're all kind of flat and kind of uninteresting. Like, I'm legit trying to remember all the characters and I'm struggling.
We should really enjoy these little times together.
There's Asbel, your generic protagonist, which is a gigantic step down from Yuri, because Yuri and Luke even feel very distinct. Asbel feels distinct, but in a stupid way, if that makes sense. Like, he's unique in that he's not different, actually, is the best way to put it. He's kind of like cocky and arrogant and gets himself into trouble and then has to sort of learn the error of his ways, but does it in much more of a... It's in a less satisfying way than Luke, I would say. Though, again, I'm trying to remember if I'm remembering right, because I do remember there's like some arc where like Asbel has to like take responsibility for something, and I don't remember all the details even. But yeah, I don't even know where the heck we're going at this point. I think this way we can get past this enemy.
I'm gonna go a little crazy here.
What else? Another problem I have with Grace is, yeah, it's definitely the characters. Everyone's okay, I would say, but some of them are like really flat and uninteresting, and don't really feel like they have any sort of purpose other than just being like, oh, additional character to play. Like, I'm legit trying to remember, like, what was his name, Malik? Like, what was his arc in the game? Did he have an arc? I don't remember. I just remember Sophie and Asbel mostly.
The secret of my strength is a secret.
Which is really sucky when you can't remember the motivations of your main characters. It's always a good sign. So obviously the other way is actually the right way to go, so let's go this way first. Or next, because we technically went the other way first. You know what, it's gonna be a nightmare trying to even get back down there. Yeah, this whole region just looks so ominous. I was like, hey, maybe this will be where to hit. It's a dead end anyway. Well, that was a waste. Okay then, but hey, we leveled up. Ran out of a few more holy bottles. Or used up a few more holy bottles. We haven't run out completely yet. So I guess we're going into that cave. What could possibly go badly about going into a cave at the base of a mountain? Also, this is something that's going to be really annoying to me if it actually ends up being true. I really hope we don't have to worry about healing for a little bit. I hope there's more to this area is what I'm saying.
So can we just go all out?
I mean, we could run. But like, there's a save point at the bottom of the mountain, but it's also not one of the healing ones. It's just a regular one, which is weird to me. Okay, that art is really powerful. Are these weak to wind? Because, I don't know, Raven seems to be doing a ton of damage.
That was too short.
Yeah, 20 seconds is way too short. Also, one weird thing that happens is sometimes the counter in the game is actually shorter than the counter in the recording, and I'm not entirely sure why. Only thing I can think of is because it happens in like the really battle heavy videos, is it's basically a weird case of weird drops because of the frame rate. If I had to make a prediction, I can't talk. This game runs at 60 FPS only in battle, to my knowledge. I think in the field it runs at 30. So I have a feeling if I had to make a wild guess, that's why. Basically, the frame rate can't keep up, oddly enough, with the rest of the action. And my gut instinct is that's why it gets out of alignment, I guess you could say. Sure, go with Rita for a little bit. Because I'm afraid that this could be a boss. Actually, I should save because there's probably a boss fight. Whether it's here or later in to the dungeon. Looks like we have a ways to go until we get to a boss. I am actually okay with that. Or not, because this looks ominous as all heck. This looks super ominous, actually.
Wow.
So this is the oldest spring in the world.
It's so quiet. The air is so clear. It feels holy.
Never would have thought a place like this was at the bottom of the mountain.
Watch it! That's air, not water. It's really dense. You shouldn't go near it. You came.
Hey, that's...
You're Chroma, right? It doesn't look like you're trying to avenge Alexei.
Duke didn't listen to you, did he? He's trying to protect the world in his own way.
So what is Duke trying to do?
He's trying to exchange the lives of humans to protect the world.
What?
Why would Duke do something like that?
He doesn't trust humans.
But Duke helped us! He even lent us his precious sword!
I assume he saw some of himself in you. Or perhaps he thought he wouldn't have to get his hands dirty as long as you were around.
What do you...
Why are you telling us about Duke? I think it's time you showed who you really are, Antilakea.
Huh?
That form!
What do you want? Is this just a roundabout way of saying you're not going to help?
I too cannot trust humans. But neither do I want to see him take revenge on his own kind. If you can truly save the world, then I will not refuse to help. However, you have chosen a different path. You will likely confront each other.
Yeah, maybe.
If he is beyond your power, then nothing in this world can stop him. I will test your strength.
Here she comes!
Moonbeams! Here comes a new spell!
And thus we are fighting Chroma, who... Okay, is this the dragon we saw at both... Why am I blanking on the name? Reason of Kados and also Yormgen / the Sands of Kogor? Is this the same dragon? Antilochea, actually, is the technical term. Also... need to turn off all of Estelle's physical attacks because I want him to just focus on healing. And no Angel Ring, Holy Lance. Force Field's okay. Now it's also resistant to fire and ground. Did it say ground? I think it was fire and ground. So we're turning off those. Was it weak to dark? You know what? I wish my memory was good, because I am legitimately trying to remember what it was strong against and weak against, and I can't remember if fire was on the good pile or the bad pile. And I know wind was out, so I don't think we have too many wind arts at our disposal. So that's good at least. Don't need those. I think we're good to go.
If you cannot defeat me, then there's no point in facing Duke.
Fine. We will test our strength.
Guess that's what we get for taking on an Antilochea.
Well, Tractor Beam seems to be a good idea here.
Come on, guys. Stay sharp.
I'm not finished with you yet.
We'll keep
Again,
playing with you till
something
you
else I
die.
didn't actually mention
This
up until
is my
now is...
wager. Will you win or will I? Nothing more than that. Come.
We might look weak, but fate is on our side.
Something else I haven't actually mentioned so far is that I actually am planning to not keep to a strict like 30-minute time limit anymore, because quite frankly we're almost at 100 parts. And it's getting so story heavy that to actually make progress, it feels like we need to actually like, you know, we actually kind of need to go a little bit longer sometimes, so if necessary.
This is bad.
Okay, so switching to Rita. Okay, so it's apparently, I think it's this attack with the rocks, that if you attack her like at a specific time, you can actually get the secret mission. I don't remember. Okay, despite the fact that we're only one level under her level, she's actually really tough. She's actually holding her own pretty nicely. So... Okay, I'm actually really wishing I had remembered to look at this. Arcane Art or above, so... Does that only mean, like, do advanced spells count, is what I'm wondering. I don't know. But hey, I want to use this. We haven't seen this in a while.
Make you hurt. Oh, power that lies at the root of all creation. Oh, memory inscribed in ages past. Hear my call and arise before me. Ancient catastrophe! This is the fruit of my research.
It's funny when you actually look up, like, guides that talk about things. Like, oh, use a Mystic Art here on this. They almost always say Rita's. Like, literally, apparently the final boss, the secret mission involves actually using a, like, finishing it off with a Mystic. And I have seen things that basically say use Rita, because Ancient Catastrophe is your best bet at actually doing this. This is not a good weapon for her to be using. No indeed. Dark Avenger then. See, look at that damage go up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be the same Antilochea we saw before, but again, they didn't really make note of it, so... Just all my assumption at this point. Oh, she is taking hits pretty well. Again, I'm not entirely sure what attack maybe it's this attack. No, not that attack. Apparently, just vaguely remember reading something about, like, it has to fly up and then do that.
I suppose not.
I mean, everyone died, but we got the secret mission at least. Wait, did it not say great? I'm actually thinking, did it not actually say great? Keeping everybody alive. Well, doing a great job with that, clearly. She's gonna... Salt's gonna die, so I'm just gonna wait, because that's actually gonna clear out the status effect, so... That's one way to get rid of a status ailment, I suppose. So, spamming. And she can counter that, that's great. I'm trying to use a... yeah. Okay, that really worked out well for me. Temporary switch. I'm gonna hang back. Basically, I'm taking control of Estelle so I can purposefully hang back and heal. I guess this also really makes up for that last fight being really easy, comparably. Halfway there. I mean, I could pause buffer, but that'd just be ridiculous. That'd be overkill. So I went to defend. But yeah, one thing you could do is actually pause buffer items, like intentionally like waiting that to basically use an item as soon as possible. I just don't feel like doing that. I'm just kind of playing it by ear in terms of the timing there. I think everyone's alive enough to be fine for a little bit, so I'm gonna have her cast Nightingale on hopefully the party. Hopefully it hits everybody. Yeah, okay, that did a fair amount. That was pretty good. Still, hang back. What are you doing? You know what? I really need to tell her to hang back. So it's set to defend at the moment. So formation, Estelle. Can I change? I can't change it right now. The actual individual settings, unfortunately. Yeah, that does 800. That's a lot. So that's 25,000, 2,500, almost 25,000. That's bad. We're actually not doing too terrible, which might not sound like high praise, but yeah, we're not actually doing too terrible in this fight. Stunned, not long. And also Rita, she has item 2 hours to do that. By the time she casts Nurse, we're gonna be hurting again, so... That Moonstorm was... Is that the one that drains CP, or am I thinking something else? Basically, if you get caught in a combo, you're kinda dead, is the implication I'm getting from this fight. Just, you gotta keep away from getting stun locked and completely destroyed, pretty much. I don't know how that didn't hit, by the way. I broke the shield like 3 times there. Very defensive boss, actually. And I think that's why it's a little bit complicated, because of how good its defense is. In terms of just blocking stuff. Let's hit Judith, not Yuri, so that was actually convenient since it was mid-combo. I have not, like, used any pineapple gels, have I? Or the healing type, or... yeah, magic point type. Okay, that sucked. Lemon. Too late. Okay, this is gonna be really tight timing. She's about to cast that, but... if I can get this in just in time... Yes, it worked. Good. I was hoping that would actually happen. Also, why isn't Rita like doing anything? Kinda feels like she ain't doing anything. Oh, she doesn't have enough TP. What? Why isn't she using one of these? Ow.
We're not done yet. Lunarize! Lunarando!
Oh yeah, she can combo arts. Kinda forgot about that, to be honest.
It was a marvelous battle. You were watching over everything.
Leave the rest to us.